This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everybody. I'm David, and I'm here with another David, and we're both TIs, unfortunately. And he's going to be interviewed today, and he's been targeted for about 2 years, very heavily. And he mainly gets targeted with remote neuromonitoring, but he's been through a lot of other stuff too. So, David, could you start out telling us what your life was like before targeting and what it's like now, just briefly?
In the good old days when I had normal problems from like a normal person,
Yeah.
I worked. I could look forward to getting a paycheck. I had healthy problems. Any normal American with normal family problems was a normal life. I could go take my dog to the river, sit down, just think to myself, that kind of thing. Just the moments. And one day people started talking to me inside of my head, in my mind, and all that's gone now. I have no privacy. I have no moments. I have no solitude. I have no time to myself. I don't have a thought to myself in any capacity at all. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is, 3:30 in the morning, open my eyes and think something, there will be a response to it. It's a total nightmare, and I have no privacy. Um, I am at a river, and if I go into the bushes and use the restroom, or if I go to the porta potty and use the restroom, I'm not doing it alone. There's people talking in my head the whole time that's happening.
Right. And this and you're like I hate asking people how old they are, but are you're past 35, ain't you?
I'm 40. Yeah, I'm 40
And
years
it
old.
started 2 years ago at 38. Right.
Yep.
And schizophrenia starts when you're young, so therefore it's not schizophrenia. That's what I'm trying to show these people, you know. Um,
um,
Everybody's saying
so
this is happening to them, and it starts late. You know, this is just it's a real phenomenon, real technology being used on. Do you know what kind of technology is being used on you? Could you kind of explain it for the people to understand? Because I know you got a good understanding of this. That's why I'm asking.
well, you have to take it back to your understanding of technology itself, technology, biology, science, stuff that's not being taught in schools, stuff that's out of the plan, just out of curriculum of life in America. Uh, your human body, can't say this enough, is digital. Um, you're a machine. You have to think of a human being as that. Everything's run off electricity. The way I move my hand, blink my eyes, everything I say, it's all an electrical signal. Um, it can be pirated, stolen, way easier than me trying to hack into a TV. Now, as far as targeting goes, the human body cannot resist cyber intrusion. It can only resist disease and virus. That's how God made it. So we are all at the complete mercy of targeting technology. I have a helicopter that's coming my way. When it comes to targeting software, it's literally my head to toe, full body, full human control. It's not just as if I hear voices only, and that's all that's happening. It's an entire repertoire of my entire, like what I'm trying to say is my whole body's available to the technology. What's happening is you have plausible deniability. So David, he's not going to specifically have what I have. Either is John, Sarah, Lisa, and all 1,000 of these people over here. We all can't go to the hospital with these specific exact same symptoms. So it looks like we all have varying things. There is a lot going on that people aren't aware of. Um, a lot of people talk about the wide body area network. It is very real. 1995, it was implemented, allows biological things like human beings to be coupled to the internet, used on a network as a node. You can be a node in a network, or you can be the network itself. It just depends on what's being accessed. Um, it's way more than targeting. Like, it's way more than my voices. So, for example, Sabrina Wallace always preached that autoimmune disorders, like the body thinking your brain has a tumor and it doesn't, well, that's a direct result of frequency contamination in a human being. Companies are actually routing their data on these wide body area network platforms through human beings. It's cheaper, it's more effective. Um, I know it sounds crazy, but you've named it, man. I've read it. Uh, People are being used to mine crypto. Um, you have to understand. Right now, I have a twin that is online, and it's a think of it as data processing, where you have a stream of information and like a lot of packets this thick streaming out of my body 24 hours a day. That goes into a digital twin, which is just a mirror. It's a data processing service. I'm sorry. And all that data gets flooded into there where it gets separated. There's a shelving service where they're, aside from data processing, where they're categorizing and making a library out of it. That is then sold to be rooted into stuff like remote neural monitoring, synthetic world simulation. So I can have a lot of copies and nodes out there in these networks. It's not just one copy or node. All of this stuff can be infecting me. Uh, it's a nightmare. I had the documentation on everything. This isn't my opinion. I want to make sure I say that also. This is from academia. I have a high school diploma. I'm talking about people who have PhDs and went to school for 15 years. I'm going to believe that guy. People with PhDs are publishing papers that I have that human beings are being covertly and secretly abducted and put on these networks. And I have the documentation on it.
Well, I believe that because, and I don't know if I'm not going to say the name, but I know somebody who was abducted from their house. They came in and put a thing over them, and took them to a remote location. Then 3 days later, she woke up in her dress, work dress, and didn't know where she had been taken. And ever since then, her body's under full control. And I've witnessed it firsthand and all that. So I believe you about that. So you're saying it's basically the digital twin information that's going around is true then, right? The AI
100%.
digital twin?
Yes, and there is documentation on everything. I can't stress this enough. Everything I talk about here is all. Once I became targeted, all I did was read and hunt down stuff. That's all I do. This
Right.
digital twin is not just jargon from targeted individuals. This is stuff from academia. So, Bill 5002 or 5008, it's one or the other. This is an actual bill that passed where they're not going to do, disease experiments, food experiments, stuff like that on humans anymore or monkeys. They won't do that anymore. They're just going to do them on your digital twin online. It's the same thing. That's an actual bill that passed for that to happen. So experiments, stuff like that, they can do it on my digital twin. The all this stuff can be proven too. It's just hard because of the nature of being targeted. When you start experiencing symptoms, like it's hard for me to do all this because I'm hearing people talking in my head. These networks, people connected to it, your perps, which are street level, they're called proxies, but you also have loan officers, which I call them. These are remote monitoring people, bad intelligence, whatever you want to call it. These people are sitting at a desk. Agencies, call signs, names, apps, portals, software names, code name. This is all discoverable information, just so we're clear. Basically, what you would do, for example, David, is you would take this video that we're making right now, that we're recording.
Right.
You're recording from a laptop or something, which is using a microphone. People don't understand that those microphones on my phone, laptop, digital recorder, doesn't matter what it is. They don't just pick up what we see and what we hear. They pick up RF frequencies out of the air. They just do that. So all that information is being captured in the video right now we're making. I'm talking about my perps, the network, their call signs, who's connected to it, that kind of thing. And I've amateurly been processing videos like this and pulling that information out. WavePad is a really free, it's a free software, but then it's like $2.99 a month. That's something you can definitely use. You take the audio, put it in a WavePad, and then you auto gain, which amplifies all caught frequencies. Use pitch sound. amplify that more by 400%, and you'll be surprised what you catch in here. People don't understand also that when you do that, the FCC on their website has a lookup tool. Well, who's authorized to use 60 hertz? Just put that information in there, and it'll literally pull up who's authorized to use that frequency with their call names and their company, and you can find out who's actually doing that.
Right. So
This
you
is
could
something
take
only
this
Home
video
does.
and figure out a lot, huh?
Mhm.
You could take this video when we're done and find out a lot, huh?
A lot of information. Amy Holm, she has a business and she does this professionally.
Yeah, I know
She
her.
she has way more software, way more equipment. She's somebody I definitely would say talk to over the phone if you have any doubts about her. I've read through some of her investigations that people have posted, and the stuff she's finding is staggering. That and it's I'm on a waiting list right now for her to do some work for me on a video.
Right. Wow. So yeah, so what do you think these street level proxies, you think they get paid or you think they're mind controlled to do it?
All the above. So
Okay, because
your proxies are, for the most part, possibly mind controlled victims themselves. I definitely want to say that. The people who are doing this to me, to you, other people, they don't give a crap about these proxies who are at home torturing people. Why would that person want you in line with their mom at Walmart while they're at work? You know, you're torturing me to death. They don't like you either. I tell them my perps that all the time. They don't like you either. They definitely could be under mind control. They could be targeted victims themselves. That's definitely for real. I know I've seen a full spectrum. So I know TIs who feel their perpetrators' emotions. And a web could cross people up. What I'm saying is you could have 20 people who all have been connected to you by this targeting software biologically, okay? Whereas your emotions and feelings, they can feel it. Likewise, they may have had one of these. I just got this the other day. This is an Obama phone, a Motorola.
so what you're talking about is heterodyning.
Yes.
EEG cloning,
So,
heterodyning, yeah.
so it's very heavy stuff. So yes, there's an artificial intelligence system that is being deployed. It's in the country right now. It's active. DoD deposition or DoD Directive 3000.09. The country is now run under a weaponized autonomous AI system. It's very real. You can look up that document yourself. And what's happening is it's an AI. So it's not just pulling out random comms. It's pulling out all comms from every human in this country probably, and relationships themselves. So it can mesh people together, and you guys are all interweb, and that's how one person thinks they're targeted, but everybody is. At the same time, people are receiving gift cards. People are definitely getting paid to do this. People are making money. I've read over time that some people are foregoing even going to prison. Hey, do this to this person, you won't go to prison. And so now you have a natural born gang stalker willing to do anything to get to not go to prison. Incarceration is ground zero remote neural monitoring and targeting. I can't say that enough. That's the first place this is going to happen at, and it's been happening since it was invented in the 60s.
So you're saying when people get incarcerated, they get tests ran on them and this mind control stuff gets ran on them. That's why they take your DNA, huh? When you first go in.
I'll say 100% incarcerated, and this is just my opinion, but 100% if you're incarcerated, you're targeted, period.
Yeah, because the first thing they do is take your DNA.
Yes, but it's more than the incarceration. And the reason I bring that up is I have court cases that I've looked up going back to the 60s of inmates suing because this is happening to them, what's happening to me today. But mental asylums is definitely ground zero. Those are your two ground zeros. But back to these proxies, which you call them, they're proxies. Everybody calls them perps. Get out of jail cards, they get money. They actually have access to the software. My perps are just psychopaths. They're just psychopaths. I don't think it's connected to any of them. I don't think they're getting paid to do it. They're just doing it because that's just what these people do. I call them the people from the hills have eyes. Like, those hills have eyes people. You walk in their territory where they're going to pull you into a little hole and they're going to eat you. That's just how they live. And this is just how my perps live. They like doing this. You have people who do this for fun, voyeurism. I've read investigations from people who are actually using remote neuromonitoring technology. This is again from Amy Holm. And the comms from these people who are, there's people from the investigations who are literally in chat rooms across the country, like Xbox Live. And then one person is linking them all the video stream. And so they're all commenting, they're all talking on microphones as they're body hopping people. And I see comments from that. And it's not just your street level gangs, biker gangs, stuff like that. I'm sad to say it, but law enforcement, intelligence, military involvement is definitely here. I can concretely say that they know.
So it's like watching a reality TV show to them.
It's worse than a reality. It's a soap opera that your mom watches on Sunday at noon, except it's interactive. She can decide if Ted blows Kelly's head off.
Yeah. Wow. So you've been going through this 2 years. Could you kind of describe what they do to you?
So mine are controlling my mind and leading me from the front, the rear, and both sides is all they want to do. So they run a massive brainwashing campaign on me. So like most men who I know who have this, they're perps, what they talk about: gay sex, pedo stuff, crimes, murder, rape, kids is like the biggest thing, just stuff like that. And they basically keep my mind in a tornado of this stuff.
Yeah.
And mold my mind into that. So that's all I hear in my head 24 hours a day. Women, on the other hand, they have that, but it's rape. They add in rape for women. Are these people?
Mine tries to keep me in a state of paranoia. We're going to cut you to pieces, kidnap you. So I can relate to that. Kind of. That
didn't work on me per se. Like the physical, I'm going to hurt you, or I'm going to do that. It really didn't work on me because after a while, it's like, dude, now it's comedy now, man. But I have gang stalking manuals that have been written by people, and my perps do exactly as the manuals even say they're going to do, like verbatim. But it is just basketball, meaning if I became a perp, all I'd have to do is pick up the ball and start dribbling. I'll make a couple of shots every now and then. David, if I became your perp, what the hell? And I was trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Well, what am I going to talk to you about but those things? Right. There is no positivity in any type. If I'm positive in any way, they immediately stop it and shut it down. Every single sound out of my mind, 100% of the day, there's a response to it. There's people who are molding it, controlling it, folding it. They all have premeditated responses they use on me. It's the most just deplorable thing I've ever heard in my life. And
one reason I think they're trying to kill the love frequency in everybody. They can't stand the power of love and goodwill. So they try to kill that in everybody. Because I was bitter for years. I'm talking about, I was like, everybody's in on it, so I hate everybody, and I would try to mess over everybody. I mean, it only went on for about 6 months till I caught myself. I'm like, what am I doing, man? Everybody ain't in on this. But yeah, so I think they're trying to kill the love frequency around the globe and put us in, well, we're already in a negative prison because there's more negative energy than, do you not think that's a possibility?
It's all of the, I got a truck coming. Dude, I've read so much and I've talked to so many people that it's all real, man. It's all, and I don't want to get too sci-fi or too sciencey on like in this kind of setting, but like, yes, all that energy is being robbed and stolen, but like the negative energy also, on the other hand, that could be being harnessed to feed something else.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough. The human body has no resistance to cyber intrusion, only disease and virus. So, David, if I fired a microwave beam at you, the frequencies in your head, no matter what they are, would go into that signal. It's called modulation, and then they would reflect back to the source. I could literally fire something at you and steal everything in your head. I literally
Right.
have the documentation on that. It's called Mind Radar, and it's been covered up. It's been kept secret. Mind Radar is very real. I have the book from the scientist who invented it. The guy was sending frequencies at people's heads and pulling the information out of their head. All you need is a computer to just reformat it. And now I can hear everything you're saying in your head, and I can watch through your eyes. The scary
What's the name
part
of that
about
book, by the way?
I have a group online. I believe it's Radiante Caliente, or just Radiante. It's called VTK Remote Neural Monitoring. It's in files. It's a book from an Italian scientist written it's in Italian. He shows
Okay.
the devices he's using, graphs, charts, pictures, proof. It's very, very real. It's radar that can be sent out and steal everything in your brain. Keep in mind that that itself is from the 1950s, that book. So this is from the 2000s and 20s. So trust me, this can do way more than that guy did in 1950. So this can steal your brain shit too. Oh, sorry. The targeting program, I gotta say also, there's a lot more people don't understand. Because you don't have any resistance against this technology, a lot of people have to look into what the human soul actually is. I'm talking about the energy being that's conscious occupying your body in this world right now, in this 3D world. If that exists in any physical format inside of your body as a frequency, you're in serious trouble, and so am I, because it can be latched onto and stolen, latched onto and tethered, keeping it from progressing as nature intended, whether you believe in God, heaven, hell, people think they're going on another planet, stuff like that. That's all under control now. And people don't realize it. We're being kept in the dark. There's a section of America that's living 200, 100 years ahead of what we all are right now. Targeting individuals because we have a fire in us to figure out what's.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. My meeting disconnected. It's trying to reconnect.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna pause it real quick until you get back. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I can hear you now. I see you
Yeah.
too. They didn't like what you were saying. Yeah.
Why is it doing that?
They don't like what you're saying.
All right, I'm gonna close that one.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Why is it
pause
echoing?
this.
This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry for the interruption, but they started messing with our things. 3 different Davids came on the screen. They were echoing our voice every time we said something. They would mimic us. So back to the human soul. What you were saying?
Yes, and I'm kind of all over the place in this interview, but just every single thing I'm talking about, I can talk to you about for like 10 days each. It's so much information. I have studies, and a lot of people don't look into this. Is your consciousness, your soul? Where does it come from? We have something that's called microtubulae, which are in eukaryotic cells in the human body. You have billions of them. An example of one of these eukaryotic cells is a neuron. Microtubulae are just my finger, look just like it, a line, but it's a power line that receives and expels information, actual RF frequency out of cells. Now, studies I've read are saying that your consciousness itself may be non-local and emitting out of microtubulae, billions of them in your cells. Now, if that's happening, And this is from people who are educated. I can't say this enough. This is not like Reddit. This is from people, like actual studies. Um, I have that documentation uploaded. Did I upload that? I don't know if I uploaded it, but I have that documentation also. And if that's true in any facet, you are in serious trouble. Your human body cannot stop that from being stolen. Meaning that that microwave signal that's penetrating your body, well, if it could take my 50 hertz brainwave, transduce that, reformat it into an audible sound, that's my subvocal speech, it can take that frequency also. There's nothing stopping it. And that's your consciousness, that's your human soul. And I can't say this enough. Because that's possible, I know I'm in trouble if I pass away. That would mean that energy itself can be tethered, it can be held onto. It can be taken from me right now and just leave me a void zombie sitting on my couch and make me a real NPC. But your soul energy can be taken. And this is not just from the studies themselves. Sabrina Wallace something is someone who I've studied greatly. She preaches that also.
But they can't take your spirit, man.
No, I'm saying they can.
I'm saying you got, I believe you got mind, will, intellect, emotion, soul, and then you got a spirit. I don't think God would make it where they could take your spirit. But you know, I'm a believer, so I'm really ingrained in, hey, God's got the say in it whether I go to hell or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I know what you're saying about the tethering of the soul, but I think that's different from the spirit. You see, I think they're two different things.
It depends on your beliefs. And this is something I really don't get into because it's like, you know, religion and stuff like that. I can't say this enough. This is a dirty word that I don't like saying. I just don't like saying this word because I think it doesn't give credence to what I'm trying to convey. We live in the matrix. You don't know what is real. We live in a worldwide, frequency-wide concentration camp. Everybody's a node. It's not just people, animals, birds, insects, these trees around me. 1960, I have a test, an oak tree. They put 2 electrodes in the ground next to it, 6 feet apart, and pulled communications out of the tree.
Wow.
As an antenna, as a computer. This was in the 60s. There was no screen. They pulled all this out. They pulled comms out of a tree. When you have mind control technologies that are hundreds of years in advance, you don't really know what is real.
Right.
Targeted individuals are some woke people. I'll give it that, but we're not on that. Like even my perks, they're stupid as hell because they're in this with me. They do the dirt, but there's a small fraction of people who are living in a totally another world out with technology we have no idea exists. If your soul can be latched onto, it can be taken. Targeted individuals, bad. It's not just the bad things, you know, burn, shocks, voices, people seeing stuff, dizzy, nauseous, falling down. It's way more than that. I've spoken with people on the other spectrum. One guy's daughter speaks 4 languages that he didn't teach her, and she didn't learn. Like she didn't learn to do that, and she just speaks 4 languages. He thinks she's targeted. It's when I say Johnny Mnemonic, I can't say that enough. Is Johnny Mnemonic stuff happening? Sabrina Wallace, something she also preached: people who are star seeds, you know, special people who are going to another planet, you know, after death, or they're from another planet. They literally just have a brain overlay, which is very real, another personality overlaid on top of them. And they believe these things, but their brain can't tell the difference. Now, everything I say, because it's just so much that when I talk about one thing, there's 100 other things I want to talk about. But I have the studies on even that. Dr. or Anna Maria Maclia, she's an MD, PhD. Literally I have that also, just published the paperwork about technology and what it does, nanotechnology. Inside of the brain, it literally creates a brain within your brain. And that brain is under control of your brain and your whole body. She's even publishing that. So the human brain can't tell the difference. I can tell the difference when I hear voices. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's not me, but it's I could tell the difference. But a lot of things you can't tell.
Right. I
You
can
get
believe
mad
that.
at stuff the human brain can't distinguish. So other personality traits can be uploaded. They can be taken. Your DNA is completely exposed. There's technology right now that's changing the human DNA.
Yeah.
And can't say this enough. And I'm sorry if I'm going all over the place. I just have so much to talk about. But the technology that's inside of people, scientifically, and it's fact, aside from all this targeting stuff and all that, yeah, but it actually can access your DNA. Nanotechnology working with a nucleic acid together will select a section of your DNA out of your own double helix in your own DNA molecule in your own red blood cell. It'll select a section, remove it, and replace it with something else foreign, another DNA from an insect, for example. And what sucks, obviously, that's horrible, but once that happens, it's transhumanism. You're not God's creation anymore. But if I conceive with a woman, we're gonna have a child. Well, that's gonna pass into my kid as well, because that DNA from my body now is transhuman DNA. It'll go into my kid. So this is gonna affect people for a long time.
Right. I've heard Brian too talk about it, and other people, like by the like in a few years, if we don't watch it, there won't be no original humans left.
No. And the scary part about it, and I don't think a lot of targeted individuals are understanding. This is something I definitely understand. Who haven't I contacted about what's happening to me? And keep in mind, what
I can hear you.
Um,
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
This meeting is being recorded.
There it goes. Sorry, I'm now what's happening?
Uh-oh. Let me pause my side.
Go.
This
All right,
meeting
now
is
we're
being
starting again.
recorded.
Sorry about the interruption again. They started echoing our voices and stuff again.
So
we have about 25 more minutes.
So, everything that's being spoken about here is not pseudo. It's all legislation. It's all paperwork. Even this transhumanism stuff. 2012, the Supreme Court ruled that you can't patent my arm. It's my arm. You can't patent my arm, but you can patent an isolated DNA or mRNA molecule. What that means is, if I put technology inside of David right here, and I start ripping out his
messing up again.
inner speech, making him move his arms, making him anything I want.
It's messing up again.
Am I?
Kind of slow down. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Hello, everybody. We're back again. Sorry for the pause from yesterday. Yesterday, what they were doing was they started playing everything we said back to us through the computer, or we were echoing or something, but it sounded like somebody was mocking us every time we said something. So it wouldn't have been hearable or doable. So now if the subject's changed, I apologize. We got David back again. I don't know if you want to use your last name or whatever, but so I'm not
David Edwards.
Yeah. He's also got well, I don't know if you want to share either, but I was going to tell him about your group on Facebook with all the information. Yeah. But what's it called?
V2K Remote Neural Monitoring.
Yeah, it's a group on Facebook that's got nothing but information in it that he's spent hours digging around and finding. Also, he wants to talk about remedies, the Manchurian candidate software, and I think there was something else I can't even remember. But anyway, Dave, if you want to go ahead and start with what you had planned to say.
Yeah, so as far as remedies go, EDTA, this is my picture. This is something I do take, and I've been on it for a week. I take that in conjunction with vitamin C every day. And that EDTA, that's from Anna Maria Maclia. She's a medical doctor. She has a PhD. She's on the board of Targeted Justice. She's specifically saying that that will destroy the nanotechnology, metals, especially graphene oxide, hydrogels. It'll deplete your body of these things. The vitamin C in conjunction, vitamin C stops it from replicating. So I've been taking that.
Is it
Hopefully it works.
expensive?
That was $30.
And how's it working so far? I mean, are you still experiencing your?
Yeah, I still experience it, but it's been a week. It could take months to
Okay.
And then as far as another like in cures or something, obviously look into Brandon Iglesias. He is a scientist in various fields. Neuroscience is one of them. He created a frequency treatment that he uses. He calls the tech wetware nanotechnology, but he uses a frequency treatment that rid him of this nanotechnology. And using something called, I don't even know what that, I tried to look into it, a bootstrapper in conjunction with the Tor browser, because I guess the Tor browser does something other browsers don't do. He has an Android phone and he's showing pictures of the targeting software not being able to connect to him after the treatments.
Have you been able to talk to Brandon?
I've messaged him. He hasn't responded.
Yeah. Well, try to find out what that targeting software is they're using. If you can, that'd be good to know.
Yeah, on his Substack, on Substack, he has an article where he goes in the detail about it.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. You shared that with me, didn't you? The Substack?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully this remedy works. You know, there's a lot of controversy over targeted justice, but hopefully that doctor knows what she's talking about. So I hope she does.
I get into it with targeted justice. I believe in the message, but I've had back and forth with Richard Lighthouse,
Winter Calvert.
the
You know,
board
that's his real name. His real name's Winter Calvert.
Leonard Calvert.
No, Winter Calvert.
Winter Calvert. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Richard
Richard
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Cooler, I guess.
Yeah. But
There's a lot.
yeah, so
there's so much that they're leaving out on their website that people aren't aware of that I email them over time and they get attitudes.
yeah, I heard that they got Sabrina so upset she shut down her site. I seen Sabrina post something on Twitter saying farewell to everybody. I watched that video.
Yeah, it's probably the same things. I echo Sabrina's words. There's a blower. Let me turn my window up. I echo Sabrina's words also. It's targeted justice, and it's an uphill battle with them. They're leaving out a lot of information that people just aren't aware of. Specifically, like the stuff I'm saying right here, they don't post any type of cure on their website. How to cleanse your body, what's actually happening aside from just posting these technology things.
Yeah. Well, I only had one. You know, I was interested in them a while back, and I messaged Anna Toledo and asked her some questions that I'd heard about TJ, and I got blocked. So I seen that as okay. Well, if they can't be open with me about what's going on, they get mad and block me, then we don't even need to have a relationship. So I'm not talking bad about targeted justice. I'm talking about my experience with targeted justice. So, you know, because I take my targeting serious and was really interested in joining and stuff. And then if you're just going to block me when I ask questions, and then I don't have time for it. So, not saying that you shouldn't go with targeted justice or nothing like that. In my opinion, I'm neutral. So, but
yeah, I believe in their message and what they're saying, the technology, all of this stuff, but there's certain things that they're leaving out. Number one, Sabrina has her own stuff, but number one for me is identification of what's happening. They can easily write the steps in the technology tab that would show every single person who visits that website how to identify what's happening to them. And what I'm saying is getting software like WavePad is free, then it's like $1. Stuff like that, using a spectrum analyzer within that software will show you the frequencies that are physically in the air around you. All you have to do is you take that frequency, You go to the FCC, they have lookup tools that are free. Punch in the frequencies you're seeing. It'll literally show who's been assigned and delegated to use that specific frequency. And you'll get call signs, names. You can potentially use that to find networks, stuff like that. And you can do a lot to identify who's doing this to you.
So that's sort of what Amy Holem does, but kind of like a generic version, huh?
Yes, what I'm saying is very generic. I'm actually on Amy's waiting list right now.
Well, I believe in generic.
She is a professional at it. I've read all of her stuff that I can find online. She knows so much information, and I'm waiting for her to do one of my videos.
Cool. Well, I hope if you get the time, you'll do our interview, one of our interviews, just to see if there's anything. I'm interested to know if you hear anything or something like that in our videos. Because every now and then I'll hear my V2K like, this is a stupid interview. What are you doing? You're dumbass. The usual stuff they do. And I'm just wondering if that can be audible to you through what you're listening, through your methods. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's various forms of targeting technologies that a lot of people aren't aware of, weapon systems. A lot of people just remote neural monitoring, V2K, gang stalking, but there's a laundry list of technologies that are being employed on people. This is very old technology. As far as, I'm sorry, I just lost keep in mind, I have remote neural monitoring, so I have stuff going on in my head too.
You said this is very old technology.
Yes, but as far as me being able to hear your subvocal speech, it is possible. I know because I can hear mine.
Right.
Through a satellite defined radio system, David. So I'm sitting at a park yesterday. I'm literally saying stuff inside of my head, and I'm hearing it come out of the speakers on my laptop. My physical speech as well.
And that's that thing you bought for $40, right?
Yes, it's $40. I didn't bring it. It connects right into your laptop. It pulls frequencies out of the air.
Have you ever tried showing your parents? Or are they closed-minded?
Closed-minded. My family is like most targeted individual families. It's an uphill battle.
Mine too.
Plus, I'm dealing with being targeted, so it's like I don't want to fight you over it. Right. Keep in mind, I have proof. I have proof of what's happening. And Manchurian Candidate software, I want to be very clear when I start speaking right now about this stuff. This is not remote neural monitoring. It's not V2K. It's not gang stalking. This is its own thing. Right. And I've had my life directly threatened by operatives who weren't my remote neural monitoring street level perps. These people are at a desk, agency, military, law enforcement, who knows? They've came through my phone, my laptop, my TV, and directly spoke to me using all the microphones, literally telling me this is a PSYOP. They're going to imprison me, have me assaulted for 3 months before someone kills me. And I'm still going to talk about this. So what's happening right now? There is a technology out there that puts physical voices in the air around a human being 24 hours a day. You cannot escape it. And when I say physical voices, I mean, I can hear it with my ears sometimes. And sometimes I can hear it on regular playback of my phone, meaning if I'm just recording with my phone and talking or just doing nothing, and then I go watch that video again, I'm hearing voices coming out of my phone. They got caught in the video, but I'm by myself. So below 20 hertz, the human ears can't hear that, but some targeted individuals can. Below 20 hertz is what they call subliminal, and they pump that around a human being 24 hours a day. I was recording videos, multiple original videos, recording the same thing using my laptop, using my phones, no apps. It was a stock one, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all turned off, cellular data turned off, airplane mode, everything. I have multiple original videos. And for example, let me take a secure one. I would go into the state capitol, walking through an x-ray, walking through a metal detector. I did it on purpose. And I'm recording in there. I told the person I was here, the security, like a head security person, if she wants to walk around with me, because I'm catching voices, and she thought I meant ghost. I didn't say that to her, but she's like, yeah, he's ghost. So I'm walking around with my phone inside of the California State Capitol with the head of security. I went through a secure checkpoint in front of the police, and on my laptop, I sent the audio of that video to my laptop, and in front of her, I played what I captured, and she was really upset because it wasn't Casper the Ghost. This is a dude, a male voice, who's threatening me to hurt me. He's telling me to kill people. I have, 20-minute span in other places, 1,000 voices talking to me, crisp, clear, and loud. Shoot planes, kill people, rape, murder, get a gun, grab a gun, stab someone. Someone will walk past me and a voice will say, kill that person. And it's way worse than that. It gets bad. And keep in mind, I have proof of all this. My speech, I turn my speech around, and it's my voice, and it's telling me to hurt kids, sexual stuff with kids, kill people, but it's my voice. So what's really happening is there's sound piggybacking off of other sound. So every time I talk, it's like a weapon against myself, because my voice is turned around talking into my brain, saying these things to me 24 hours a day. I have captured voices in between breaths saying I'm having a panic attack, stuff like that. And this, I know it's going to sound spooky what I'm about to say, but keep in mind, everything I say, I have multiple original videos of this. I don't speak Chinese. I don't understand Chinese. I went to a church service by myself. It's completely in Chinese. The speaker is speaking Chinese. Everybody there is Chinese. I don't understand what they're saying, but I'm there to record video. I go home. I put the audio in WavePad. All you do in WavePad is you auto gain. Auto gain just raises up all captured frequencies. That's all it does. And then I amplify it and make everything loud. Hit play. It's the only steps you have to do, unless you use pitch and speed to adjust. So this man is speaking Chinese. He's in a church. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy. Why do I have multiple original videos? Keep in mind, but I captured voices mimicking the speaker's voice in Chinese, but now it's in English, telling me I'm gay, I should go kill myself, that they want my soul, I'm gonna be murdered,
Wow.
someone's gonna hurt me, and the whole time. And I can prove it, but I have videos showing that never even happened, but I can pull the technology out of the air. It's very real what's happening. I have operatives who are listening to me right now. I can guarantee it. These aren't my remote neural monitoring perps. These are actual operatives sitting at a desk listening to everything I'm saying right now. They're threatening to murder me. So I was different cities, different locations. I did one at the FBI headquarters building in Roseville, California, a video where I'm showing, hey, there's microwave pulse voices targeting me. I'm on federal property. I just got done speaking with the FBI. Secure places, secure locations by myself, multiple cameras. It cannot be denied. It just can't be denied. So what do? I have a flash drive. I try to give it to the FBI. Guy walks in, the FBI agent. I'm in person. I'm sitting here with you, and just punked me. It was 2 minutes of this dude just punking me. He wouldn't take the flash drive from me. He wouldn't view its contents. He wouldn't verify I was telling the truth. Wouldn't verify anything. So I'm leaving with, this flash drive, and I'm like, I'm at the FBI. Why would they turn it down?
Right.
So I pull out my phone and start recording again, and make another video on their property showing that there's voices telling me to kill myself, and gay sex and stuff and kid stuff. And I'm literally at the FBI building. So I don't know what to do. So I tried to go to City Hall and hand it to the mayor in person during a town meeting. Once it was my turn to talk, after I sat for 2 hours, I kind of make this up, and I posted the video on the TI lawsuit channel on Facebook. It's in there. It's probably from February. Once it's my turn to talk, they end the meeting, and it was my turn to talk. I I did an audio analysis on the video of that. If you can, go watch that, so I don't have to get into it. But mind control was used there to keep me from talking. I posted a video about it. I leave, I go give it to a police officer. I had to talk him into taking it from me. It took me a while to talk him into taking it. It's crimes against humanity. I have it here. Police officer showed up to my house a week later after giving them that flash drive. They never mentioned any of the library of video. I had like 40 videos, hours long, voice analysis, you name it. They never mentioned any of it. They came to my house to discredit me as some schizophrenic guy hearing voices who's not credible, yada, yada, yada. Pretty much know how that goes. Once they left my house, and I have that on video also. I have it on video. There's a guy doing yard work. I have it on video. I did an audio analysis as the police talking to me in my driveway. While they're talking to me in my driveway, there's microwave pulse voices that are telling the police to get down, looking for a thug black guy, get his laptop, get his laptop. They're telling me to run.
Wow.
What I'm saying is I have proof that technology was used to potentially get me murdered by the police on my driveway, and I can prove it.
Right.
And
I believe you.
That was a complete hit. I don't know if the police who showed up knew that was happening, but someone did. And
what did you do? Just run it? Did you come out like that?
No, I came out normal, but if I'm talking to 3 police officers, polite, cordial, respectful, and one of them hears get down, I could have been killed. And that was a total hit that was put on me, and I survived it. I have the videos. I have proof of it. Can't make this up. Once they leave, that night, while I was making the video analysis of what I just told you about what happened on my driveway, I was contacted through my laptop, my speaker, and on the TV through the speaker. A voice comes through. This isn't my perps who could talk into my head, by the way. A voice comes through and says, "You better stop. This is a psyop." I don't want to use the R word, but they said that was going to happen. We're going to enslave you. That's going to happen to you for 3 months. Then we're going to tell him to murder you. I can't say it enough. That was a real direct death threat for probably somebody with the badge, intelligence clearance, sitting at a desk over what I just told you. And I still have this stuff on me.
Well, now what technology? So you're talking about the Manchurian Candidate technology, right?
Yes. So
you don't think it's kind of like a V2K, all lies and fear to push you to the point to do something crazy?
So it's not. You have to understand, everybody.
Because V2K's lies, but like you said, there's different softwares. So V2K's mostly lies. So the Manchurian Candidate software is mostly antagonizing to get you to do something, right?
Yeah. So, how do I say that? Kevin Hart made a joke about Ice Cube when they were shooting a movie about not wanting to waste tape. When it comes to this technology, they don't waste tape. So, no stone unturned. And what that means, what I'm trying to say is, David, if I took your subvocal speech and turned it around, it would be your voice saying some horrific things. So every time you think, I can say with a certainty, every word you say inside of your head, you're also saying something else that your subconscious mind is hearing, but you're not noticing it's happening.
And it's affecting the way you feel about yourself too, because you're thinking, wow, I'm a bad person.
No, you're not. No targeted individual is a bad person.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying that's what it probably makes you think if you're hearing your own voice say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Unless you're strong enough to see through the psyop.
And that's the issue with people like us. Like, you're strong-willed, I'm strong-willed. I can definitely see that. But some people aren't. Some people are not. They're just not mentally like that. Everybody beats to their own drum. So you have this person who's being hit with exactly what I have. And some people just say yes to their perps who talking in their head. I read about somebody who apologizes to them and says sorry. when their mind starts spasming because they're torturing them inside of their mind. Some targeted individuals, they go on to do mass shootings. Some will just get told to walk in front of a bus, walk off a bridge, go do this, go do that. Every time I see a crime, who was the targeted individual, the victim or the perpetrator? You know, you don't know. I mean,
And I was reading something from Ronnie Killed. You remember we were talking about her the other day, Bright Lights and Black Shadows or something like that?
yeah.
Today I was reading from her, one of her posts from a book I'd found, and it was talking about what if the serial killers, all the serial killers were, it was a mind control project.
David Berkowitz is one of the original ones. He was a beta test for V2K.
Yeah.
The guy was talking into a hole in his wall, and he said the dog was talking to him. They were hitting him with microwave weapons.
I just wonder if Gacy and Bundy and all of them were all test subjects.
Yes. Anything can be produced. I can't say this enough. When you see a human being, you got to think of them as an electrical device that has no protection. My TV has more protection than I do for my body. The human body can be hacked, taken over, controlled, manipulated, told what to do, say, think, feel, everything. It's gone away from physical stuff to your soul, your will, your emotions. That's what they want. Amy Holm, who does these investigations, she has a lot of intelligence. She says she has a video of somebody, a woman in bed, while she's sleeping, she's being hit with a microwave weapon, and it's causing her to raise her arms and move her head while she's sleeping in bed. That's not she's a victim. There's somebody doing that to her. Everything about your body can be hacked, taken over, controlled, and manipulated, and there is nothing you can do. And it's the worst thing. If it's tech inside of the body, that's the best scenario because you can at least try to get rid of that. But if they're not, they can do it without anything in your body, and we're in the matrix, man.
Right. Yeah, because my girl's leg jumps. I'm talking about her whole foot and leg will jump, and I have to hold it, try to stretch it. I'm talking about like an hour at a time, and it'll go on so long, it's so painful to her, and I have to just try to stretch her leg and try to massage it, and that don't even work. I mean, it's involuntarily.
Let me show you what I have. 1 second. As far as, hold on, Dave. So, spine frequencies. I'll do a better job of showing it. What I'm trying to say is these are frequencies for your spine, right, your nervous system, your brain. Everybody who's hearing this tone in their ear, every time that tone fluctuates, changes, the pitch changes, the volume changes, all that's happening is the software is calibrating to target a different part of your body. That's all it is. And through a tone, it can affect anything in your body. It could make it so I can't walk. They could make it so my eyes close and I can't open them. They could take my eyesight from me. That stuff is very real. They could control your movements. It's very real. It's not even like it's like people need to get away from saying that it's like a new, technology and it's so advanced. And yeah, it's advanced, but your biology has been the same forever. The human biology. It's from the 50s and 60s, man. So
yeah, if you go to my short videos on YouTube, they actually they had this rat and they put it in this it was in an aquarium like thing, of course, and they had it walking around with this bug, right? Or I think it was a bug, and he wasn't attacking the bug at all. Well, they beamed frequencies at him, and he went and attacked the bug. So it was showing you that frequencies can cause you to do that stuff.
And perfect example of the 1994 Rwanda genocide that happened in Africa, where a lot of people got killed. It was a complete genocide. Story goes, tensions were high. Helicopter flew over, hit everybody with frequencies. It had a genocide and a lot of people died. You take what you just said about that rat and apply it to stuff like that, and you'll see it's a pretty different world out there than what you think. I have read I've read a few investigations. There's absolutely an app, and there's an app where people are going and they're getting onboarded onto it, and they can use it to torture people. And I'm saying hit them with microwave weapons, stuff like that. This is from an investigation from Emmy Holmes. This is not my opinion. And you have people who are across the country in Xbox-like chat rooms talking on headsets, whatever you want to call it. They're all in the same room across the country. And they're body hopping people using remote neural monitoring. They're using drones. They're using all kind of stuff to literally hurt people. And it's insane to know that stuff even exists. There's frequencies also that are not registered with the FCC that are being used per investigation. So that's obviously something I wanted to put out there. But you're not going to find help. The only help you're going to get is just from yourself. And there's really nowhere you can go.
Right. No, you just got to be strong-minded. And like me, I have a higher power and all that. And I try to pray and just stay positive. I make gratitude lists sometimes if I'm going through it, you know what I'm saying? Write down a gratitude, something I'm grateful for. Because, there's people that's got it a lot worse than us sometimes, you got people in Africa waiting on America to drop MREs so they can fight for it. And sometimes you might get killed fighting for food for the day. So that's what I try to think about when I'm going through my little self-pity thing to keep me going,
Yes, but when you have it in the mind, it's the worst place you could ever have it. It's better to have the physical stuff than to have it inside of your mind where your mind's getting taken.
Right.
100%. Oh, I forgot to say that also. So when I started receiving other threats, they let me know it's being recorded. Everything that's happening in your mind is being recorded. There's no way they're not saving that data. There's a million different reasons why it's happening. Simulations, if you want to say they're feeding artificial intelligence. There's 100 different things going on. We only go to war now for the money. I mean, with this technology existing, there's no point for guns.
Right.
So there is an open air. So you have your Alexa, it's wired, it records people, you can talk to it, it responds. There's an open air Alexa that exists around everybody and no one knows it. Records everything about my day. I was sitting in a field and I was smoking a cigarette and I flicked it. What an asshole. He just flicked that cigarette. I'm sitting by myself and everything about my life is being monitored. When I pick my hand up like this, there's a weaponized surveillance system right now that is letting anybody know I picked up my hand. It definitely exists. I have so much content and proof of it that I'm nervous because I know what has happened to people in the past who've had this type of stuff. I have done audio analysis on mental patients over the decades, just videos from YouTube, stuff like that. But this guy is hearing voices and you're calling him schizophrenic and you're interviewing him as a psychiatrist. Let me ask you something. Why exactly am I pulling physical voices out of this video and that guy's responding to them on video? He's hearing real voices.
Right.
And I've done that with countless videos going back decades. I'm talking like the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe what you say, because when I walked out of that motel, I've been hearing my wife's voice ever since the PSYOP started, since I left her and all this stuff. But she was my handler. But when I left that hotel, I'll never forget. That's the first time I ever heard it, and it was outside me, and I was looking everywhere for it. I jumped the swimming pool at Hampton Inn looking for it, and he can't even get a motel. He don't know what to do. And her friend Jennifer spoke to her. She was having a conversation with another person, and I'm thinking it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm looking in cars in the motel parking lot. I'd never experienced it before, you know what I'm saying? So it freaked me out. So I believe the open air Alexa stuff, definitely.
But you also have to understand there's another spectrum. So we're on the bad part of it, okay? But there's another spectrum of people getting free rides through life with this technology. If I had children and I was somebody where I could remote neural monitor people and stuff like that, I'd be sitting at a computer while my kid's taking his SATs. people who get perfect scores, people who take tests, people who have job interviews. I remote neural monitoring their interview people. The technology can be used to put people through life, but it's being used to destroy people as well.
Right.
If you Google people who hear voices who play the lottery, people are getting lottery numbers from voices also. I honestly ask my voices to do that too. I know
Right.
it exists. I know I have operatives. So I bought a lottery ticket and told them, let me win it. I didn't win, obviously, but.
Right. So, and you don't deal with much gang stalking, do you?
Not physical gang stalking. I have it inside of my head. These people are talking into my head. They're real people. They're
Oh, I
POS.
believe you 100% because I experience it. I know.
It's constant fear mongering that any moment my life's going to end, something horrible is going to happen to me. And I'm saying that very politely. They talk horror to me, obviously. They're street level perps. These are not agency. They're not military. They're not law enforcement. They're none of that stuff. These are street level people. And what I've read from Amy is just that you can't have technology like this where you want to experiment and you want to use it on people, and regular people are not going to want to do that. Regular people are not going to want to remote neural monitoring somebody 24 hours a day. They're not going to want to do that. So Amy is saying that people who do commit crimes, pedophiles, stuff of that nature, that they're being given access to this software because only people like that would do this. They might even be threatened, blackmail. You're going to go to jail if you don't do this. My perps are real people, but I've also been contacted by people above them in the network.
So you think street level perps are given access to the software? Because I did an interview with somebody the other day, and they're like, "Well, there's no way they would give some drug addict off the street access to this technology." So you disagree with that, right?
I do. I 100% disagree with that. It's full spectrum. So keep in mind, this technology predates internet, it predates cell phones, it predates it's really old.
Yeah.
So they very well may just have a phone, and they just started hearing me through it, and they can't even turn it off. That is something that can happen. It's not just the perps either. People don't understand that. You have your street level perps connected to me with probably a phone. They could talk into it, yada, yada, yada. But there's a literal cognitive recurrent neural network that's connected to me. On that network, I've had operatives actually contact me over the stuff I've been trying to prove and threaten my life. So we all have loan officers, is what I call them, a loan officer with the portfolio of victims. So my perps are also being watched. You have to understand, I've gone to the military, Navy, FBI, CIA, DIA, DOD, Pentagon, the White House, the NSA. The NSA itself, I've contacted them 8 times. The FBI 6 times, even in person. There are so many complaints that I have personally made. There is no way on earth these people aren't being watched. It's just not possible. It's not possible with the complaints I've made, and I've given proof, okay? So they're being watched also, but there's people who work at probably comm centers. I've also contacted fusion centers who are overseeing me 24 hours a day. If I try to do a voice analysis, I'll start receiving threats from them. And this is every time. Just think about it. Think about it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Think about it. There's someone telling me that through my laptop.
Right.
You have people who are overseeing you as a targeted individual. The more you know.
Yeah, they're handlers, what I call them. Yeah. Wow. What else would we want to discuss? So could you I think I was going to ask you this question yesterday. Could you kind of like go over your isolation and how it came about?
My isolation, being targeted.
Because you had friends and stuff at first, right? You were a normal person with friends, a normal everyday person, right?
Yeah. So my behavior and my mood and who I am, my personality has definitely changed since before I was targeted. I honestly would rather be in the Matrix than me living like this. Put me back in there with the steak and the woman, and all that stuff. But just personally being around people in general, I don't like to do that anymore. because there's people talking into my mind, screwing my stuff up. And there's other things happening to me also aside from the voices. I have seen things in my head. And it sucks because I don't want to be around my family like this as a different person. I've told my friends don't believe me, obviously, look what it sounds like. But I haven't given them any documentation. It's not that I'm how do I say that? It's just more of a me thing. Like I can't be around my mom when there's people screaming in my head saying horrible things to me. I'd rather just go sit outside by myself.
Right. Yeah, and I had a guy a few months back get mad at me because I didn't answer him right back on Messenger. Like, I always answer messages on Messenger eventually, maybe 2 or 3 days, but sometimes I don't feel like talking. Man, I'm tortured. I just don't feel like it's nothing against you. And it don't mean I don't like you because I didn't hit you right back. It's just there's days you don't, this makes you kind of antisocial,
Yes, it does. It makes me antisocial. I don't even want to talk to you if I go into 7-Eleven to buy something. I buy a pack of cigarettes. I don't want to talk to you at all. I'm being tortured out of my mind. So I prefer not to communicate physically with people because of what's happening.
There's just too many games in the mix.
Yes.
To trust anybody to talk to them.
I just don't understand how my perps have this time. They have to be getting paid. There has to be something else going on. Amy Holm is saying that it is dark web enabled, meaning that they're in chat rooms in the dark web sharing video links, stuff of that nature. And I'm kind of scared to go that route, and because I don't want to go into the site and I look up remote neural monitoring or chat room, and other stuff is in there, because they'll say I'm accessing that too. So I'm like scared to do that. But I do want to hook down these chat rooms that they're using.
Yeah, that would be neat to find it. But like you said, then they would turn it around on you.
And I know I'm being watched. You don't understand how many agencies I've contacted. I've gone onto the DARPA website, and I've pulled down individual like admirals, lieutenants, stuff like that. And I've individually emailed them also. I emailed Space Force. I emailed generals. I have emailed so many agencies. And
never got responses, right?
Yes, the CIA, and I videotape all of my complaints too. So I have all of my complaints saved also. I video them because the CIA, I literally pulled the job listings and put them in the complaint. I was like, can you have this person do this and that because this is happening? Never hear anything. But because of what I've done, there's no way they're not watching my perps. There's just no way.
Right. I agree. Have you contacted that many agencies? But I admire you though, because you're a strong person. You haven't lost it and went crazy, because so many of us have. You got Myron May, Aaron, Alexis. So I could keep going on.
Myron May wasn't lying. I pulled audio. I pulled voices out of his home videos. There's real voices talking to him. Now he could have what I have. He could have had remote neural monitoring voices in his head like I do, but I also have physical voices talking to me. Myron May, I can assure you, had physical voices talking to him. It's not just the killers either. I've done audio analysis on Cops, the Cop show, where a police officer is chasing a suspect. The suspect falls down. He goes to reach for his taser, and a voice out of nowhere says, "We have your mother." What do you think the cop's going to grab now? And he grabbed his taser, obviously, but in that instant, if he would have heard that, he would have grabbed his gun and killed him.
Right.
So
wow.
This kind of rhetoric, what I'm saying right now, I'm not supposed to be talking like. You have to understand who's watching me right now. This is gonna get like I'm receiving death threats from talking like this. You could all do an audio analysis. It doesn't matter where the audio comes from. It doesn't matter what it is. I was doing funny stuff when I found out I could do this. I was going in stockbrokers on the floor in New York. I was doing audio analysis on them, trying to find stock tips. Maybe the voices would tell me information and stuff like that. Instead, I found voices that were just calling this guy, horrible names and stuff like that. It's a very real weaponized system. Some people can hear it. Some people talk to it. Some people respond to it. Some people think their house is haunted. No, it's a technology. That's not a ghost talking to you. It's this.
Yeah. Yep. Brian too talks about that. Haunted houses and stuff and all the stuff going on in the houses is really this program. Weaponization, like they can make objects move in the house. Like the other day, I know they could have made this happen, but I really think it was real for like 19 minutes, 20 minutes outside the house at midnight. We hear, and it's on the window. Well, by the time I got to come when I got it up and started, they stopped. But I was telling Holly they could have made us hear that. Now it was too real for that, but but they could make us hear that if they wanted to.
So, sound itself is a pressurized wave. So all it is just a kinetic force that goes into your ear. You end up hearing it inside your brain. But that system itself, like these voices I'm capturing,
yeah,
they can amplify and make it so it creates a kinetic force. What I'm saying is that technology can punch you in the face.
right. Yeah, and make you feel it. But yeah, so I really think like maybe them haunted shows. I wonder if somebody's out there with a direct energy weapon just making the stuff happen inside the house when they're recording. You know what I'm saying? If it's all staged.
All those ghost shows are not real. Ghost hunters, Ghost of Aladdin, Ghost of America, just say ghost and just put anything you want out of it. When they're walking through houses with all their devices, they're detecting this. They're detecting all this technology being used to kill people. That's what they're actually detecting. Haunted houses, even famous ones, those are all targeted individuals. The house in Indiana, Gary, the most haunted house in the United States, they were targeted. It's a surveillance house.
Right.
And the
Amityville Horror, where they made the dude kill his whole family. Remember that? The Amityville Horror.
And I say this to my perps also. Would you stop Robert DeFeoing me? That's his name. Guy was 18, killed his whole family because there was voices. He was a beta test. It's really, really old technology. And it's not even just, how do I say that? It's not even just these isolated things. The Jonestown Massacre, 900 people died. Those were targeted individuals. Mind control was being used. There was a cult in Wisconsin run by a woman called the Witch of Wisconsin, something like that. She moved. She was using mind control on people and moved out to Anaheim, California. And once she moved there, there was a huge suicide rate going on with the high school near her house. People started committing suicide, kids. It's because of her.
What about Manson?
Marilyn Manson?
No, Charles Manson.
Sorry, Charlie Manson?
Yeah.
It's a long, long list of people. He very well may have been targeted. Now, I obviously am in no situation where I can prove any of this or say any of this.
Well, anybody who's done the research would know what you're saying. It's very real and very possible.
All you have to do is go on these videos of these people. Try to find a video of that person who is like at home doing nothing and then doing audio analysis on it. Just take the audio from the video. You can go online. It's free to do that in multiple websites. Put it in WavePad, auto gain, amplify, use pitch and speed. That's all you need. Chester, the lead singer from Linkin Park, I did audio analysis on his home videos. There's voices telling him to rape his nieces. Even Chester said he was hearing a cartoon inside of his head before he killed himself.
Yeah,
there's famous people, but I don't want to be one of these people.
Wow. Well, you got about 10 minutes. What is there anything else you want to say? I know there's so much more, and we can do a follow-up interview definitely because I know you got more. But the follow-up interview, I'll let you get more organized, and that because I definitely want to do a follow-up interview because I know you ain't got to say near as much as what you want to talk about, and you've done your research, and I admire you for that because it's hard to do research when you're being tortured.
So yes, I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate that. And I just kind of want to go over like what people should know is real, what people should know is not real. SysTech with Ryan. On the website, he has examples of recurrent neural networks. He was contacted by a man who lives in Phoenix, where he lives, to do an investigation. He didn't even know what any of this was. The Ryan, the investigator.
You're talking about Ryan Mitchell for Cognitive Investigative Services.
Yes.
Yeah.
On his website, he's showing a backtrace of a recurrent neural network. And it has your proxies, which are your street level perps who like talk to me in my head. But he's showing all these agencies who are also connected to the network as well. Like they know what's happening. And I can't say this enough. He can't have that on his website and not be in jail or have that website shut down immediately for it being like a slanderous lie. The fact that he has it posted only gives credibility to that being real. You can't say that's the FBI connected to this neural network that tortured this man. They'll take it down and they'll arrest you for lying about them. So Ryan can prove that that's real. Sys Securities, Ryan's on his website is saying he'll testify against all of them, that they were using remote neural monitoring on people of Seattle. He's always saying that.
I did an interview with him, and I got a video where he went undercover in the FBI and had a meeting with him. I don't know if you saw that one.
I've seen it where he talks about it.
Yeah.
I just want people to know, when you see all that stuff on that website and you read through it and he's naming people and names and stuff like that, well, if you notice, he has all the board members of Sys Securities on his website. Wouldn't they sue the hell out of him for doing that? No, there's no lawsuit coming at him from them because they know it's real and they know he can prove it. So everything on his website it's real.
Will you also explain when you're done about that halfway house of target individuals that are trying to charge and say stuff like spa and all that for so much a month? When you get done talking about Ryan?
Yeah, so you have to understand the people who are in charge of what's happening to like people like you and me and other victims who are like, I'm talking about the top 1% of the people who are like creating all this stuff, you know, giving out the contracts to have it created. These are not stupid people. They think in ways that I can't even biologically think in because they're that intelligent. There's other stuff involved there too, but they're that intelligent. This is a full circle psyop being ran. So it's not just the technology that's being deployed on you, but it's complete environment control. So where you're going to go, what you're going to Google, what you're going to read, lawsuits, proof you have. All of these things have been thought about by some of the smartest people in this country with degrees and way more certifications than anything you can imagine, okay? So going to like targeted justice might just be part of this psyop. All this stuff is talked about and mapped out and planned out by the people who are using this technology against the masses. That this Eden thing, okay, I forget what it's called, Paradise Eden or Eden Paradise. Len Burr, who's a medical doctor who's targeted, very famous, on his Substack, go on Substack, type in Len Burr, and he does an expose on this place. It's supposed to be a retreat for targeted individuals. Don't go there. There's something else going on with this place that might make it part of a psyop. And the reason is because of what this guy is saying. He tried to verify the IP address and who owned it from that website, and they blocked it. Why would they need to block it? All the numbers that are listed on the website that you can call, nobody owns those numbers. It doesn't even come back to a name or a person. In the video, it's going to be 115 degrees today, man. So in the video, they have a welcome video, and it starts off with a man going in a suit and everything. We at the FBI take this targeting stuff seriously, more or less, and here's what we're going to do about it. He's claiming he's an FBI. He's from the FBI. This is an official website within an official group offering services for targeted individuals. This isn't like a Facebook group. And Len Burr calls them out through text. And he's saying, you guys represent the FBI? And he posted the text and they start calling him crazy, saying, whoever said we represent the FBI or we're part of the FBI and stuff like that. And it's just incredibly shady that they did that. I would not go to that place. There's something else going on there, man. It might be any place you get targeted individuals to go is it's ground zero for something happening to them.
Right. And they're supposed to have a hot tub and food and all.
Why don't you let me turn this off?
Yeah, it's just like
I would walk. I would walk 50 miles barefoot naked in the desert and die of thirst if I don't make it. Then have this another minute.
Right. So like, so you don't, so what you're saying is that place is not, there's something about it. Cause I got a bad feeling about it too. You know, you're not just going to offer a target into, that's a perfect idea to scam people or further test them, get them in one little thing and further test them.
Yeah. So Len Burr actually created a group on Twitter. The whole point of the group was to figure out who these people were, who owned it, who these people are. So when he creates a group just to have to figure out who these people are, you got to tread carefully with these things. His advice is not to go there.
Right. Well, we got like 3 or 4 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yes.
I'm definitely going to bring you back for another one, man. So don't be too frustrated.
I'm going to talk about targeted justice and what they're not telling people. Yes, cures are one thing. They're only going after one list. Richard Lighthouse's thing is to oversaturate the list, flood it with information, and will make it hard for them to target people. I can't say this enough. There's 1,000 lists.
Yep,
and once
Sabrina said that.
And if they take down this list, I literally got into it with Richard Lighthouse in email. So let's say they're successful in taking down this list. And then next day, and next week is going to be who likes French fries list. There are so many lists that what they're going after is nothing. They're not going after the root cause of the problem. Okay. What's the root cause of the problem? Wide body area network is allowing software developers and coders to create software that targets the biological human body and makes them biologically couple to an online network using a chip, nanotechnology, or your human biofield and DNA, which is the worst one. There are other forms that I'm not going to say here. Well, we only have 3 minutes. They're not going after WeBan and getting it amended, updated, abolished, all of that. So they're over here going after a non-investigative, I'm on a terrorist watch list, and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Why aren't you going after the stuff that's allowing this stuff to be created in the first place? Because let's say you are successful, and next week those people like ketchup. Now they're getting targeted. So
right.
They're not going after the root cause of it. And I have written about this so many times.
And the terrorist watch list is mainly for Americans. This is global. The
terrorist watch list, whether I'm on there or not, they're not going to tell me. I've done an FOI, I've done all the Quest too. Yeah, that may very well be targeted. They might be on a non-investigative terrorist list, something like that. What's it gonna be next week? PTA meetings. Those people are on list too. People who support Trump are definitely on list. People who support Biden are definitely on a list. Democratic, Republican, people who have PG&E, people who bought Xbox are on a list. It's literally like that.
Yep.
So they're not telling they're not telling everybody the root cause is these laws and internet protocols that so those protocols are there. So if I create software, well, that person in China, they can use it also. So everybody creates based off the same rules and regulations. WeBan's an international protocol. It needs to be abolished. It needs to be amended. That's what they're not going after. And I keep getting into it with Richard Lighthouse because he's not even bringing it up. This guy has a master's degree from Stanford. He worked at NASA. Why are you hiding this?
Supposedly. But we won't go there. We won't go there. I guess Winter's an all right guy.
I've heard things about targeted justice. I'm not trying to bash them. I've heard I can talk
No,
about
you're
every single
not,
one of those people.
and I'm not, I don't know, I would never bash them either, but they're leaving stuff out. They need to put in. That's serious stuff. I mean, this is our lives.
I think they're trying to radicalize people to go and cause harm. I'm not even lying with you.
Oh, if I can
They talk
find it.
about.
I
Huh?
seen a document about, I'll share it with you if I can find it. Somebody sent me about that where, you know, they were being told to go to these people's houses and do certain stuff on Targeted Justice website, and it ain't gonna do nothing but cause the people that go and do it more trouble.
Targeted justice, from what I can look at it, is yeah, I understand the cause, but and the technology and all that stuff, but it seems like you're trying to radicalize people who become targeted to go after these other people. Why do
Right.
you
And
have
I hope that's
AT&T?
not the case. I hope
Like
their
I'm remote
intentions.
monitored. Do you think I'm gonna go to the AT&T executive's house where you have his wife and his kids' names on your website and try to hurt them? Why do you have that there, man? Some people
Right.
will do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Never thought of that. But time tells everything, you know, well, I don't know about that because they have been around since about 2016, 2017, but you know, time will tell if they're legit or not. Time will tell everything. But I know for a
Yes, but
fact what you're
people.
saying is true. They are leaving that out. I've never seen anything about the
So
We
I can't
ban or
say this
nothing on their
enough.
website.
I can't say this enough. Anna Toledo's a lawyer. Anna Maria McClea has a PhD. The girl went to school for 10 years to be a doctor. Okay, she is not a stupid person. She is smarter than I'll ever be. Richard Lighthouse, you know, has degrees and he worked at NASA and all this stuff. A master's degree from Stanford. So where are the devices that you created to rid my body of this? Where are your creations? Where Anna, the doctor, yes, I'm on EDTA because of her. She says to take that. But Brandon Iglesias is another scientist, and he has a frequency treatment that he's using to clear his body of this technology. And he's showing it not being able to connect to him. Why aren't they doing any of this?
Right. Right. Where are the solutions at? That's what you're saying. If you got all that smart people on your team, where's the solutions? And I want to know, to let us know how that EDTA, let us know if it works, if your stuff stops after a while, because I'm interested to see if it does, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then I wish they would talk. I'll definitely let you know if it works. I've only been on it for a week, and I've been upping the doses, so I'm on like a lot of it. I wish they would talk about the human biofield and DNA and all that stuff of targeted justice. People still don't know what the biofield is. People don't even know what the facial nerve is. And it's a horrible thing. You literally 80% of your immune system is emitting out of your body. And all you have to do is just mess with those frequencies, and it's 80% of your immune system is definitely used in targeting.
Your body is a
They don't talk
frequency.
about it.
Your whole body is frequencies. That's all it is frequency. DNA has a frequency. Your blood has a frequency. Your brains runs off frequencies. Yeah, I definitely think, you know, why haven't they put that in there or talk about it? Or, you know, I don't know, maybe they want to, you know, I don't know why they wouldn't talk about it on their website. I've wondered that too. I hope, you know, I hope to God they are legit and got good intentions, and maybe they just are too, you know, I don't know. I hope so. I doubt it. I think there's a reason they're leaving it out, but I don't know why.
Oh, I know we only have a little bit of time. I wanted to bring up, God, what is it called? It's called Christie or Costi or something like that. There's an agency that you can make a complaint to if government agencies are failing to investigate what you're telling them. I've totally forgot what it's called, so that's something you should Google also.
Internal affairs, like?
I think it's something like that, but it's like Crispy or Christie or Costi, or something like that. They'll investigate why these agencies aren't investigating what you're saying.
Right.
Can you imagine how many people have said they're targeted to the FBI over the last 10 years?
Oh yeah, I called somebody. I was on three-way with my friend Lynette. Rest in peace, Lynette. But anyway, and we called the FBI, and they put us on hold. And then this woman comes on there and says, and laughs and says, "We're not listening to you," and hung up. Now I really think somebody intercepted that call or you know what I'm saying? While I was on hold, somebody hijacked the call because my phone was terribly hacked at the time. But yeah, there's a lot of people that do complaints and nothing happens.
And I
Yeah, my
videotaped all
girlfriend
my
went to them in
complaints.
person and they laughed her out.
They discredit and discredit and discredit. I know people who've gone to the FBI who live here in Sacramento where I live. Girl says she's doing this. They're telling her she needs to have a physical brain injury for them to investigate remote neural monitoring.
Do you know
The
Lewis
same way-
Rowe?
Huh?
Do you know Lewis Rowe?
No.
Oh, he's putting together a rally April 26th to 27th. I'll send you the video he made about it. But anyway, he said the last rally he put together, he's the one that started Target Individual Day on August 29th. He's putting together a rally in Sacramento at the Capitol.
I'll be
But it's
there.
April and 26th. I'll keep you in. I ought to link y'all two up if you'd like. But yeah, he's a neural rights activist, and he's doing a lot for the community too, trying to what he can with what resources he's got.
Dude, be it a lawyer, the police, and any agency, any intelligence, a courtroom, a federal judge, a county judge, it doesn't matter who it is. At no point can these people or anybody say that the technology and science behind it is false. There's not a line of sentence they can say that discredit any of this stuff as not being real. I can say this enough. Biology, science, technology, science doesn't care what that judge or what that officer feels. Science only cares if it's true or if it's not. It can all be proven. All the information that I have, they just can't deny it. They can't deny what I have. And Amy Holm is somebody that everybody should be contacting. I'm on her waiting list right now. She can help prove what's happening to you.
Yeah.
Like
I was in contact with her about two years ago. Well, about July or June of 2022. And I've talked to her a couple of times. Like I recorded a Zoom call. I was a part of her Zoom meeting, and it's on my YouTube somewhere. But one time she did it. But yeah, she's got a lot of good information to it. She can do the analysis, and she's in Florida too. If anybody's in that area, to go get her sound and voice analysis done. Well, it's more than just sound and voice, right?
Yes, she pulls networks, names. Well, she doesn't pull that. She can pull frequencies and communications, actual like hidden communications out of video that have been.
Don't she also do scans, body scans?
She does thermal scans and radiation scans, stuff like that. She has prices. I'm doing the cheap one. I just wanted her to identify my perps and the network and all that stuff.
Okay. Wow. Let us know let us know when you get it back. I want to do an interview with you after you get your results back.
And then get a microscope. I found one for 100. No, it wasn't even 100. I bought a cheap one at Target for like $30, but then I bought one for like $50 off Facebook Marketplace. It's a nice microscope. It zooms up to 3000x. You can see the stuff in your blood. You don't have to go to the doctor to know that's happening to you. So everybody should be doing that and drawing their blood.
So what's it doing when you take is it moving around or?
Yeah, so this is my cell phone right here.
Be pretty quick because I don't have much time left. So.
All right. Let me get this one picture real quick.
And then ain't Ryan trying to come out? Don't he have tests for nanotechnology coming out where you can get them?
Ryan does have tests. So these are all pictures that I took from a microscope of stuff in my blood. I do a lot of testing.
So have you put it up against what regular blood's supposed to look like under a microscope?
I made a PDF. I put it in my group. It compares what I find in my blood, like this, which is a carbon nanotube. That is nanotechnology. It's a carbon nanotube.
Wow.
David A. Hughes has a worldwide study, Crimes Against Humanity, that he published. I just compared the pictures. It's the same thing. I'm not a doctor, but if he's holding an apple and I have an apple,
right, right. Well, I thank you for coming out today, and like I said, we'll have to get together for another interview. I want you to write stuff down and be more organized because I definitely want you to talk more about the biofield and stuff.
Yeah,
and because I see that you know a lot about it, so And I'm really,
Okay.
I've heard a lot of Sabrina stuff, but I really think like they erase my memory and stuff. So, uh, you know, like I can't, I catch on to stuff when I'm studying, and some stuff like when she talks, I just can't take that information in for some reason. That's weird.
Yeah. I had to stop the video when I first started listening to
Because
her.
she goes real fast.
I would stop the video and I would rewatch everything she said until I started typing everything she was saying to research it. She talks
Right.
like a computer.
Yeah. And then you got, is there anybody else that talks about that you know of?
What,
The
Sabrina?
Biofield or, because didn't she take her channel down? The Synergy channel?
Mm-hmm. Hold on. I thought we were going, but hold on one second. So I don't know if you guys ever go to this site, gangstalkingmindcontrolcults.com.
Yeah, that's where
It's
I
better
get
on
a
a
lot of my
laptop.
information from there.
It's better on a laptop. That guy, the admin, he lives 45 minutes from me. I asked him if he wanted to go to lunch next week.
Who, Eric?
Yeah, he works as a professor at Stanislaus, which is
Okay.
40 minutes from me.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I get a lot of my information from there.
they have Sabrina stuff on there also.
Yeah, okay. I was on there today, matter of fact, reading something from Ronnie Kill earlier.
Mhm.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming out. I'm going to stop the recording right now, and then we can finish saying our goodbye.